Yeah. Honestly, this way to sum it up, and as I've said, I've been on both sides of those. There was a moment in the ninth inning of that ball game when I think we'd just thrown a wild pitch that ended up in my pitching coach's lap, where the guys moved up to second, third. I kind of glanced over at Coach Martin, and we didn't make eye contact, but I just looking at both of us just kind of struggled through that one. It wasn't the most well played game, and I was just kind of sitting there in my mind that at the end of this, either one of us is probably going to be happy with the win, but probably not happy with particularly the way we played. So I would sum it up that way, that I don't think it was a particularly well-played game, but I do think it's important, specifically in the super regional format, to get off to a good start with a win in game one, no matter how it happens. But other than it was a hard-fought, a lot of big hits, big pitches on both sides for both teams. Wasn't the prettiest. But we're going to try to refocus our group and come out here tomorrow because I've said it all along. We're just here. We're not happy to be here. We're just going to play, and at the end of the day, if it's good enough, it's good enough. So, but sloppy, but we'll take it.
Questions for coach or players?
Coach, when you guys jumped out that 4-0 lead, I think in the fourth inning, was that a confidence builder? Was that changing strategy or changing defense, or what? Talk about the position you guys felt at 4-0 lead.
Are you talking? I'm not. Are you talking about the result of us coming back and giving up 4 again? No, I was disappointed in that, but I keep saying it. It's not lip service. We're who we are. We're not going to change things. We're just going to keep going. I was as shocked as probably Joey that he just lost the strike zone. I've never seen that out of him, and it wasn't nerves. It wasn't whatever. And we've asked a lot of him all season, and he gave us, and we ask our guys, give us what you have, and he gave us 3 solid, and just for whatever reason couldn't find the zone. And I said yesterday at yesterday's press conference, not the only way, but one of the best ways to get beat by Florida State is give them extra base runners, and so that was my decision to pull him at that point because we just needed strikes.
Michael, the first time through the lineup, you guys were over 8 against Weevil with 4 strikeouts. The second time through, I think you started out 4 or 5 or 5 or 7. What was the difference just the second time through?
We had kind of seen what he had after the first time through, and I think he kind of beat us with his velocity a lot the first time through. So the ball kind of got on us a little bit, and I don't know if we necessarily saw anybody in the regional that threw as hard as he did. So he kind of beat us with his velocity first time. Hadn't seen that in a while, and second time we were ready for it, and we were ready for everything that he threw at us there.
What does it do for the lineup when Kyle hits one on the other side of campus?
Oh, yeah. It pumps everybody up. Gave us a big spark, and then we had up 2 runs and nobody out, so we were starting that inning off basically up 2, so that really gave us a boost to keep jumping on them.
Just what happened on that bat, basically where he's right there, we kind of upset about it for a while.
Yeah, it's good or bad. He was throwing me a lot of off speed first off, and I think we got in the 2-2, and then he threw me a change up to go to 3-2. Then he went inside with the fastball, and I was real late on it, and I fouled it off down the left field line. I thought there was a good chance that he'll probably come back to that fastball again, thinking that he can overpower me with it if he spots it up. But he unfortunately left it over the inner half of the plate, and I got a lot of barrel on it, and there you go.
Coach, Mike Martin said that when the wild pitch happens, they move the runners like a third. He's thinking they got a pretty good chance to tie it in or win it. Aside from the sloppiness, which you mentioned, what's going through your mind in that situation?
I was thinking they had a chance to tie it or they could win it. Really, I think those games probably are more nerve-wracking for fans and people rather than the coaches and the players, because you just try to, whether you have a good play that happens or something like that happens, you gotta get it out of your mind and focus on making the next pitch. And I thought Will Corson-Carr did an unbelievable job. That's it's a freshman out there. He hadn't seen stuff like that. To flush it and focus on the next pitch. And And I didn't know whether they were going to send the guy on that ball. I think ultimately at the end it was a very good decision on their part. It wasn't deep enough. We were just hoping, honestly, to get out of there with a tie at the end of 9 and go extras. But that's how this game is, and I've said it, even at our regional when some games were decided late. That's why you love this game. That's why you hate this game, because it can be so frustrating, but it can be so joyous at the same time in a matter of minutes.
What made you decide to pull Ryan and go with Will?
We had extended him in the regional in the closed situation. He'd given us what he had. We did not want to go to him in the, help me here, 7th, was it the 6th? 7th. We didn't want to go to him that early. I was a little upset that we had to do that, so I thought we were asking a lot out of him, and then we just sent him out for the 9th and said, give what you can give, because we knew that he was a little bit fatigued coming already into it, but he went out, was a little flat. I left the ball up, which was unusual for him, and we just said, we got good guys behind him. Let's give Will the ball.
Kyle, what was the pitch that Will the biggest out I thought was the E out pop up the center when the time
No.
runner? What was that pitch?
It was a what was it? It was a slider, I think. Will was working well with his fastball, but we all thought that. It's a lefty on. Was that guy a lefty?
He was a righty.
He was a righty.
That's our starting
No, sorry. Sorry. Actually, we actually threw a changeup that pitch.
Okay.
Yeah, we sped up his bat with a fastball, swung through and missed, and then we slowed him down a little bit, and his hands dragged and got a little pop up, and it was sure enough to JC to actually throw it in on a rifle, and the guy couldn't go.
Tracy, could you talk about Schwarber's just approach at the plate? I mean, he didn't chase bad pitches, and then after hitting the bomb, he came back later and had to single it.
Well, and I don't mean this. I think it's when you see a hitter like this, we're kind of used to it. With him, we watched him all year. He has a very, very advanced approach. That's what I think makes him such a special hitter. That's why I'm assuming the guys at Team USA already extended an invitation. They've watched him enough. He has a very professional approach. And what I mean by that is a guy that knows in particular accounts when I can get after it and try to drive a ball out of the ballpark, or when I need to shorten up and maybe go the other way and help my team based on what they're doing to him. So he just has a very, very advanced professional approach that certainly helped him today, and I think it's going to help him in the future.
Coach, was there any thought at all after the wild pitch? Obviously, we was kind of second, third, open first. But any thought at all getting 4 wide to the team going lefty and lefty?
There was a smidgen. I actually, for one, I thought about that. Will has excellent stuff. He has really very good stuff. But occasionally he'll mix in a walk there. And I just thought, you know what? We're going to let him go at it with his good stuff and see what happens. What I didn't want to do is put that much pressure on him. If we walked him there, I wasn't gonna do it because he slips in one of those walks and all of a sudden we're tied. So we just stayed aggressive, and that was our philosophy from every mound meeting, every time we talked in the dugout. Fellas, let's just be aggressive and see what happens. And I was very pleased with his aggressiveness there at the end.
How much do you think that helped you on the base paths and the 4 stolen bases? A lot of pressure on maybe causing a couple errors.
Yeah, and I thought, quite frankly, we made a couple silly decisions on the bases too. I think there was one, Schwarber was up and we stole third, and if they make a throw, he's out by a mile, but the throw was high and we looked like genius. I just keep saying, I just think you got to be who you are, and you're not going to change when you get to the super regional. We're not going to change tomorrow. We're just going to keep being. We've been aggressive all year. We're going to keep being aggressive, and if that's not good enough, it's not good enough. But so again, I think I saw something I read where someone said they don't have a lot of stolen base or something, but we have a lot of guys getting thrown out or something like that. We do have a high percentage of guys getting thrown out. Some people would argue that I'm stupid. My wife would agree, but I just think you make teams make plays. Sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not.
Part of being who you are, we talked about yesterday, the potency of this lineup. When you get in games like this where it's kind of back and forth and getting a lot of runs, I guess how important is it to know that you can turn to your lineup and know that some guys might need to turn things over?
Well, that's what I said yesterday. I said that what the fun part of this lineup is we don't feel like we're ever out of it because it's one swing of the bat and we're right back in it. And it's not just one swing of the bat from him or Mike or whatever. There's we've got home runs sprinkled all throughout that lineup. So it's a comforting feeling. But I still say the pitching is the key to this for Florida State and for Indiana. Whoever pitches the baseball the best over the next day, maybe 2 days, is going to win it. I'm not going to sit here and bank. I don't want to bank championships or chances to Omaha on hitting because I think it still comes down to pitching and defense, which we didn't do real well today. And we were very fortunate, very lucky.
Coach, Kyle, I wanted to ask you, the coach said something about going the other way, which is nice, but you have 18 home runs, and when you came in and saw that right field fence out there, as close as it is, were you thinking, man, I might be able to get some out of here this weekend over that right field?
Well, being a baseball, being a baseball player, I mean, there's always that mindset of saying, "Oh, that's a short porch out the right field. It's 320 feet." But being a hitter, you can't be thinking that at the plate. I mean, you can't really be thinking at the plate, "Oh, I'm going to pull this ball over the fence," because that's when you start getting big, get yourself out. So you really just got to have a consistent approach, and then, look for your pitch, and then once you get it, you got to drive it.
Coach, you talked about not playing the best defense, but it seems like you guys came up with crucial plays in crucial situations. Florida State left 13 runners on base today.
Yeah, I thought it was more that we made some good pitches in particular situations. We put ourselves in some horrible pressure spots by walking guys with 2 outs. I think we blew the double play ball that would have saved 2 runs. But again, I don't want to focus on the negative piece of that. I think the positive thing is we made pitches when we need to, when we needed to. I'm trying to remember if we made any. I mean, DeMuth had a real nice play, I think, on a bunt play, but outside of that, it was probably more a quality pitch than us playing spectacular defense. So hopefully we can shore that up a little bit tomorrow.
Coach, it seemed like you made a lot of trips around, even when you didn't make a change. Is it trying to take the crowd out of it, or take them out of the rhythm, or is that just you? Or
we go out there and we tell some jokes, and we're out there. Yeah, we're just out there talking about, and this is an unbelievable crowd. I love this crowd. We said it during the game. This is a very baseball knowledgeable crowd. It's fun. They're fun to play, except the one guy sitting above the dugout. It was all over me. But they're fun to play. They appreciate good baseball, and they can get that. They can get it going a little bit. And some of that was, let's just calm down. Let's just talk about it. Let's just play baseball. Forget all that stuff going on. So, and then I tried to get that extra visit in there too. I don't know if you caught that. I forgot that I'd gone out there already on the same hitter.
One more question.
Michael, how much fun was that for you guys to be in this environment on this stage and just be in that kind of crowd?
Oh, it's a lot of fun, and it's always this type of atmosphere makes it more fun. But we're not focused so much right now on the fun aspect of it because just one win, we came down here for 2, but the atmosphere does make it's pretty electric atmosphere, and it is pretty exciting to play in the games.